What do you have to say to the people of Maplewood?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. Our incoming superintendent, Dr. Benita Jameson, said that a person's love language impacts how they lead. And that blew my mind. And I realized that my love language is acts of service. And that's what I've been doing my entire career. And now I get to do that for my community. And so I appreciate the honor of putting me in the position of mayor so I can serve.
Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, where we size up current and historic events involving people, places, and things in areas such as the arts, crime, education, employment, faith, finance, food, history, housing, humor, justice, and sports. Our weekly podcast gives you the edge to live a more informed life. We discuss more than just St. Louis as we connect the gateway city to our country's current cultural fabric and lives.
RadioSTL.com. KWRH929.org, and you can check us. We are always streaming live on the web 24/7, 365, or 66 in a leap year.
Worldwide. Anywhere. Just name it. We're there. If you can get it.
Yes.
If you have internet.
Internet, right? You can do
that. Yeah, that's a whole nother issue, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Some people don't have internet.
And that was the voice of Nikylan Knapper.
Yes.
And she is the new mayor as of last week.
Oh, no, I was sworn in on Tuesday of this week.
Tuesday?
Yes.
She's just a young pup, 3 days old in the mayoral office.
Yes.
Sure. And she is the new mayor of Maplewood. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. I've wanted to have you on. Mark mentioned to me that you were running, and you have quite a, I would say, great background and resume. Tell everybody out there in listener land a little bit about who you are.
Oh, brag, come on.
I am currently an administrative judge for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I work for the agency known as the National Appeals Division. So if rural Americans want to get a loan from USDA for their family farm, or if they want to get a housing loan to live in rural America and an agency tells them no, then they can appeal that decision to me, and then I determine if they should get what they're requesting. So I like that work immensely because I get to serve rural America. So I enjoy that a great deal. Before that, I was an assistant solicitor for the U.S. Department of Labor. And the work that I did there was actually for mine safety. And so I have been underground in a coal mine.
Wow.
Yes, to see what coal miners experience. Ooh. And if citations were written against a coal mine, then that coal operator could appeal that to an ALJ, and then I would defend the citation. And then before that, I was a legal aid attorney for Middle Tennessee. I did a lot of service for neighbors, residents that were living in poverty, and I assisted them with consumer protection matters or matters involving domestic violence. And then before that, I was an assistant public defender. So I was doing criminal defense work for folks that were below the poverty line. So it's been a lot of service to folks in need.
Let me ask you, not meant as a curveball question, but do you see any kind of consistency in the application of the law with all of those groups, or do you see inconsistencies? Not meant to be a loaded question.
No, I appreciate it. I think it's a really good question. I see inconsistencies, and really the inconsistencies that I would see was with the criminal defense aspect of it. Yeah, it was more consistent when I was in civil court representing plaintiffs. At that point, it was consistent, but criminal defense in those courts, it was not.
That's interesting. We see a pattern.
Yes, we do.
So tell us, you came to St. Louis about 4 years ago?
Yes, it's been 5 now. Yes, I've been in St. Louis for 5 years now. And I came here because I accepted a job with USDA, and I was in Nashville, Tennessee when I accepted the job. And they told me, okay, you need to you need to move to St. Louis. And so when I was interviewing for the job to be an administrative judge, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Then I learned that I was pregnant with twins after I had accepted the job. And I was like, anyway, I can stay in Nashville
Yeah.
because I had family there. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my gosh, we already have one son and we're about to have twins. Holy conniption, Batman. What are we going to do? And we're going to move to St. Louis. And I have family here, but not my in-laws. I mean, it's easier to call grandma and grandpa over. And so they were like, no, you need to relocate. And 2 weeks before my twins were born, we moved into our house in Maplewood.
Wow.
Yes. So it was a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh man.
And you hit the ground running when the kids started growing, and then when your son were on the parent-teacher organization group, you were on the United Way of Greater St. Louis, brought Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to the preschool students.
Oh, what a great.
You volunteered to be a youth sports coach, a den leader of the local Cub Pack.
Yep. That's
Then
where
you
I met
wanted.
her.
Yes.
Then you really wanted to
That's where I met her.
become a glutton for punishment. You got on the Board of Education.
You know what?
Isn't that the worst? I know. He was on the Board of Education.
You were?
Yes.
Here in Webster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't, how about this? It was very difficult this past year. Being in service to our community, to our families, in our school district during the pandemic was tough. I will tell you that the directors that I worked with are some of the best human beings that I have ever been in the trenches with in all of my life. I adore the team that we created as board members. I have lifelong friends from that experience. It just, something was forged within us during that pandemic year. I tell you, when I was thinking about running, I was like, oh, I just want to make sure that we get an educational equity policy. And I knew that we already had directors on the board in place that were supportive of that. And so I thought we were just going to be focusing on that policy and then finding ways to ensure that it's being practiced. And so like the first year that I was on the MRH school board, we were able to do that. We worked together. Within a year, we had that policy. And then we also unanimously passed a policy that protected our transgender students, our non-binary students. And I'm like, oh, we are cooking with Crisco. This team is fire. It's great. Yeah. And then boom, the pandemic. And it was like, oh my gosh, what is this? But again, I'm grateful for the team that we had because we made it through. And I know that a lot of our families and our students were hurting during that year, but I also know with the board that we have now and also our incoming superintendent that's coming in, we are as a community going to come together and make sure that our staff, our teachers, our administrators, and our students are all made whole or at least close to it.
In translating all of your experiences, including the most recent things as a Board of Education member, what are your goals as mayor of Maplewood? What do you hope to achieve?
Wow.
I guess
that's a big question.
Yeah, and she laid some things out on your platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
it
was it's okay, very precise.
First
You've only been on the job 2 days now.
First 100 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first, I want everyone to know that my mentor is sitting right next to me.
See,
I know.
And
yes,
she's looking
it
at
is.
Mark.
She's mentoring me, is what she is.
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
No,
It's
I'm just happy to support you.
Thank you. My first goal is really to listen. I want to listen to our community.
What?
Wow, isn't
a
that
politician that listens? It is amazing.
It is.
It is. It's true.
Well, thank you.
You're so right. She's right on the money on that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean it.
No, you're
There's
fine.
other politicians need to hear that.
Yes.
They don't listen, do they?
Yes.
Come on, honestly.
Yeah.
Y'all, come on.
You're right.
They just don't. Go.
I think it's important
It
for me
is
to
important.
listen
Yeah.
because I don't want to assume that I know what my community wants or what my community needs. And so in order for me to ensure that I can serve them, I need to listen to them. Right. So that's my first goal. I plan to reach out to my council members and see if we can create something where right now I'm calling it like a walk and talk, where I can meet up with my council members in their wards and then we can walk through the area and then I'll just let neighbors know if you see us, come holler at us. We'll answer whatever questions you have, or I'll ask you, what would you like for me to do? What do you want to see? Town halls are a big thing for me, and I know that there are other council members that want to have town halls as well. So first thing I want to do is listen. Another goal that I have is to make sure that I know how my council members communicate and vice versa. I want to make sure that we're able to communicate well with each other, that we understand each other well, so we can get business done. When things are lost in translation or in conversations, then you're not able to focus on the work. And so I definitely want to work to have the same type of team relationship that I had with the board member or the directors for the MRH school board. And then as far as policy is concerned, there's a lot of heavy lifting, which is why I'm like, we got to listen. We got to figure out how we communicate with each other, because I am going to submit a proposal to the council members for creating a human services commission. And that commission would address like our senior citizens in Maplewood, housing insecurity, food insecurity, transportation. Now, mind you, I got all of this after talking with my other mentor, which is Mark's wife, Maria Langston. So, of course, I adore them. But
I have to cut her grass now. Switching it out. I have to cut every week. I got to cut her grass. All right.
but this Human Services Commission really came about from me talking with a local nonprofit leader. Her name is Shayna Poole. And I'm not sure if you all are aware of the grab and go table that is famous in Maplewood. It started with Shayna just setting out a table because she had lost so many family members to COVID-19. And so she was like, you know what? From this loss, I want to give. And so she just set out a table and put like a few items on it. And now she has created a nonprofit organization that focuses on human services. And so talking with her, I'm like, you know what? The pandemic has shown me that I think our local government should be doing so much more than what it's doing. And we can do that with a Human Services Commission on a local level. We have one for the county, but I don't see the harm in having one for Maplewood to focus on its residents. Yeah, that's one of my bigger things that I want to get done in the first 100 days.
Closer to where things are happening.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because I believe when we structure this commission, this Human Services Commission, to focus on our residents, then we can make sure that we can get them to stay in Maplewood if they want to. Right now, we are dealing with gentrification. We are dealing with housing insecurity. We have an eviction crisis going on right now. We are just dealing with a lot. And my goal as mayor is to make sure that anyone that is currently in Maplewood can stay if they would like. And then also to let people know Maplewood is the place to be. You do want to live here. We have a great school district. We have a great community that cares about its residents. So, yeah, come here, live here. So, yes.
So is the age group of residents in Maplewood pretty much similar to what any other municipality would, or is it skewed one way, maybe towards older adults or younger adults, or what is that roughly?
You know what? The age range, we have a substantial amount of young folks in Maplewood. We have now, don't quote me on this, I'm trying to remember the stats that I saw maybe about 2 years ago, but I want to say that our elder community is maybe 20% of our population, and then our younger folks from like maybe 25 to baby, they are about maybe 40%. Okay. So our young population is huge compared to the other age ranges that we have in Maplewood.
Okay.
I think there was a change when the school district started getting better.
Yes.
And then the young
started moving in.
Yeah, they started wanting to move in. And how are you going to work with now when I was mayor, I'll tell you my old mayor story.
Remind people that Mark Langer,
when I was mayor,
yes.
I really wanted to work with the school district because I think the school district's the pillar of the community. So, Nikki, how do you see yourself working with the school district?
I see myself
Mayor Nikki. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. I understand the transition. Just so you all know, Mark and I met because I called him about an issue I was having with children being able to pay for their dues for our den. And I was like, Mark, what are we going to do? And Mark didn't know me from a can of paint, but I was just like, I need scholarships. And if I can't get scholarships and I'm going to pay for these children to be a part myself, I'll pay their dues. I'm not telling anybody that they can't be a part of this den. And I think you may have just started liking me after that, where she was like, who is this go-getter? Spark. It wasn't Spark. But excuse me, it is a great opportunity for me because I am coming from our school board to already be able to easily establish a partnership. And so I am, of course, talking with Roxana Meacham. She's our acting super, but I have had many conversations with our incoming superintendent, Dr. Benita Jameson, and our current president of the board, Brandy Miller. And so I've already said to them, let me know about having a pop-up vaccine clinic in Maplewood. We have one in Richmond Heights, but I'd like for it to be in Maplewood because that's easy for our residents to access. Richmond Heights is not far at all, but if we can have it in our community, that's great, especially if community members could walk to it if need be. And so that's just an example of the partnership that I'm already cultivating, but I want to be able to do big work with them. And when I say big work, I'm like, I would like to see if there are some innovative solutions that we can find that would put our school district in a position to be able to generate funds itself.
Boy, what a tough challenge.
It is. And that is not something that I am working for in the first 100 days.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify that, because I think that's a lot of conversations to begin with. But if we could find an innovative solution that puts MRH in a position to create its own funding, then maybe there's a possibility that it won't need to come to the residents for a tax increase when they need it. So again, that's just in conversations, communications about solutions.
And one of the other aspects of that is a vibrant business community that draws residents and non-residents to businesses there, going to eat at restaurants there, things like that. That's always been a hub of, I shouldn't say always been, but it's now a hub for restaurateurs to be on Manchester there and be in that flow. It's a wonderful.
It really is. And I think a lot of people, when they think of Maplewood, they think dining and shopping. And I'm like, but we have so many amazing services here, too. We also have amazing nonprofit organizations in Maplewood. So I definitely want to continue the focus on our dining and shopping, but I also want to expand the information about the services that some of our shops give. We have amazing spas. We have amazing bakeries. We have amazing nonprofits like Artists First, Girls on the Run. So just examples. So I'm just like, Maplewood is so much more than what people are used to hearing about. And I'm definitely going to make sure that the region...
It's a nice draw to have people want to come there also and be a part of the community and live there.
Yes.
And housing is affordable?
No.
Challenge there.
No. That was really one of my main pillars of my campaign was housing affordability. It is becoming more difficult to remain in Maplewood, and I think I'd mentioned a few minutes ago we are enduring gentrification, and so what I'd like to do is work with the community and council to see what can we do to find a balance.
Right.
You are not going to stop progress, especially when progress is tied to capitalism, and I understand that. However, I think that we can find a balance so we can keep the diversity that we have in Maplewood and make sure that diversity stays strong. And I know that a lot of people think when, I use the word diversity, they're thinking of race, but that's not solely diversity.
Right.
Diversity deals with income. Diversity deals with age. We have a lot of our elders in Maplewood that are no longer able to afford to stay in their homes because property taxes are skyrocketing. But they also make our community diverse, and we need them. We need the knowledge that they have of Maplewood, the history that they have, the history that they were a part of. And so my goal is really to just find that balance. And I know that is more than just trying to do that work in Maplewood. I can't. I need to have a partnership with our state senator and our state representatives. I need to have a partnership with Councilwoman Lisa Clancy. I may need to make trips to Jefferson City like Mark did. I really see that in my future. And so I will advocate on behalf of Maplewood because Maplewood deserves it. And
I was going to ask whether that you were mainly looking at that through like single family or multifamily residences, because I don't know what the balance is.
It's over. Can I?
Yes, please.
It's over 50% of the housing stock in Maplewood is apartments.
Yes.
Wow.
There was a time where there was a mayor way back before, that was the only way they saw to make money was over property taxes. So his push was, let's get more apartments in Maplewood.
Yeah.
And then they finally figured out, no, this really isn't a good idea. But we have what we have. We have over 50% of our housing stock. And I think Nikki's right. Mayor Nikki, she can work with some of those property owners because there is a lot of apartments and maybe there is things that can be done that can make it more affordable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Super. So you are new on the job, and how long is the term there? 4 years?
It is 3 years.
3 years.
It is 3 years.
Okay.
That was voted on by the citizens of Maplewood in 2016, and so it used to be 4 years, but they lowered it to 3, and that is the term.
It's
so
three 3-year terms.
Oh, is it 3 3-year terms?
3 year, 3-year terms.
I did not know that.
Yes, so it used to be 2 4-year terms, and they added a third term, but they made it 3 3
So
years.
you max out with that.
So you get 1 extra year. Come on. I was not a big supporter of it. I thought it should have been a 4th. Yeah, you figure out where the bathroom is, and then you're out. So it's true. I like
is the bathroom that hard to find?
No, but I think 12 years that's certainly a long time, but it lets you get some things done.
You know what? I need to look at that again because I think I just read that wrong recently.
Got it wrong. I could have it wrong too. Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But thank you for that, Mark.
But I think it's 3 3-year terms.
Okay.
Which, yeah.
I want to give you one last word here.
Okay.
What do you have to say to the people of Maplewood?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. Our incoming superintendent, Dr. Benita Jameson, said that a person's love language impacts how they lead. And that blew my mind. And I realized that my love language is acts of service. And that's what I've been doing my entire career. And now I get to do that for my community. And so I appreciate the honor of putting me in the position of mayor so I can serve. So thank you.
That's a great comment. We're talking to Nikylan Knapper.
Yes.
That's it.
Great job.
Who is the new mayor of Maplewood. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Glad that you were able to come in here and be in here in studio. I love in-studio interviews so much more than over the phone.
We're so excited to have.
This was fun.
I know,
Thank you so much.
And I would probably offer this to the mayor of Webster Groves and Rock Hill and Brentwood, some of the surrounding communities.
Any one of them.
If you have something you want to explain to people and talk about, you're always welcome to do that on this show.
Thank you.
Can we have her back?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's have her back. We'll have her back sometime.
Next week?
We'll check and see how she's doing. She's still happy about it.
If I found the bathroom.
All right.
Exactly.
You should have a bathroom in your office.
I do.
I know. That's great.
And I saw
Did you have that put in, Mark?
refrigerator.
Did you get the refrigerator? I used to have beer in it. At 5 o'clock, we would have a beer sometimes. Should I even tell this on the radio?
We'll have jasmine tea.
Okay.
There you go. That sounds so much better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you listening to this episode of St. Louis in Tune. Take time to look at the show notes on the website for everything that was mentioned on this episode. St. Louis in Tune is produced in cooperation with KWRH 92.9 FM and Motif Media Group. For St. Louis in Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.